Thank you for tuning in to TalkWad.com, the world's fastest growing internet radio network. Please check out all the other great shows on www.talkwad.com.
What if your customers are trying to find your business online, but instead of finding you, they find your competitors? Now, more than ever, it's time to make sure you have the right SEO to make your business stand out online. Welcome to Go Mind Your Business with Terry Bork, presented by Extreme Marketing Concepts, putting your business in front of the hungry herd of buyers who are looking for you right now. Extreme Marketing Concepts, helping you drive more traffic, dominate the market, and crush your competition. And now, here's Terry.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to another edition of Go Mind Your Business. My name is Terry Bork with Extreme Marketing Concepts, and it's my pleasure to have you joining us today. My very special guest today is Kristen Rink-Vada with Fitness Tech. Welcome to our program.
Thank you.
Yeah, welcome to have. Great to have you here today. Welcome. And it's a kind of a drizzly day here in Clearwater, but it's so great that you're able to come on out and chat with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. So I really love Fitness Tech's approach to fitness, and I can't wait. I know you're going to share some amazing things with us today, so I can't wait to learn more about your company. Let me share with our listeners a little bit about you, though, first, if I can. Actually, your husband, Kevin Vada, founded Better Body Fitness in 2007 to make a lasting difference in the life of his clients using something called muscle activation techniques, or MAT. And through that, Kevin was able to work with a wide variety of clients, from post-rehab and post-chemo to professional athletes. Better Body Fitness trainers taught clients how to sustain fat loss and or increase muscle mass and help prevent future injury. And then you, Kristen, joined Better Body Fitness team in 2009 after starting there as a client.
Mm-hmm.
And then in 2010, Better Body Fitness joined Fitness Tech with the intention of purchasing the established company and studio in Citrus Park, or Odessa, Florida. And in 2012, you and Kevin acquired Fitness Tech Personal Training Studio,
Yay.
where you are now expanding the Fitness Tech team to reach as many clients as possible. And your team specializes in using cutting-edge fitness science to achieve breakthrough results, and your clients are educated and empowered to be able to sustain their results long after working at Fitness Tech. That's awesome.
Thank you.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit more about Fitness Tech and how you came to be.
Well, Fitness Tech, we decided that we were going to expand. So Kevin, I actually met him outside of the fitness world, so it's not quite as scandalous as I married my personal trainer, and we no longer date clients. But I actually met him. I thought it was a horrible idea to work with a trainer, to be honest. I did not want some guy yelling at me, telling me things I already knew. I had back surgery when I was 16, and it freaked me out. I was worried I was going to get hurt again. And also in high school, we found out my sister had anorexia and then was soon also diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And there was part of me, I think, that deep down underneath, I was worried that if ever I really started working out, that I would get compulsive and overdo it like she did. So I thought working with a personal trainer was a horrific idea, but he told me that he had this technique that nobody really knew about in Tampa. There are some cities around the country and even in the world where MAT, or muscle activation techniques, is more normal. But in Tampa, he was the second muscle activation technique specialist. There are now 4 around Tampa Bay, but it was still, hey, this makes a huge difference. Nobody knows about it. Be my poster child. And he actually proved to me that I was wrong. All those preconceived notions about what a personal trainer does, he almost did the complete opposite with me. He actually told me that the running I was doing was counterproductive for my fat loss goal, and that it was having a negative impact on my body because of my back, and And he taught me that I needed to eat a lot more, like a lot more nutrient.
Yeah, that's very odd coming from you.
I
You're
know.
like, starve yourself.
Yeah, yeah, really. I thought it was crazy. I thought it was like, hey, tell the chubby curl to eat. That means like, job security for him. Honestly, that's what I thought. And then the final thing was really, he told me the first few sessions, there were muscles in my right foot not firing. Now, what that had anything to do with my back or fat loss was beyond me at the time. But I I think I'm probably still his biggest pain in the butt ever as a client. But he, I'll never forget, there was one time I came in and I was sick the night before, like up coughing, and I hadn't eaten a whole lot before I came to the gym. And I expected him to say, I am, proud of you for being here, even though you don't want to be. And he actually said, you need to go home. You need to sleep. You need to eat. And if you don't want to take on the coaching that I'm giving you 100%, it's okay. We should part ways. It's okay. We'll still be friends, but I'm not going to train you anymore. It's a waste of your time and mine. And that was profound for me. Mm-hmm. I mean, I decided that I was really going to take it on. And 8 weeks later, I was 15 pounds down and 15 inches lost, which as far as fat loss goes, that's more important or more indicative of actual fat loss. And more important than looking better, I felt better. And even more important than feeling better, I regained a sense of peace of mind that I didn't realize I had lost. I know now the science. I know if I take certain actions, my body will respond. And I didn't realize I didn't have that. So
I get that totally. One of the things that I think is great about Fitness Tech is you're actually teaching people how to do it for themselves so that they don't have to make that lifelong commitment to the gym and go like, oh man,
right, right.
You're actually showing them what they can do to just do it at home with normal equipment, not like, the funky things that you find in some gyms.
Exactly.
It's really awesome. So, you took over Fitness Tech, a studio in Odessa on Gun Highway. Tell us about that. That was probably a huge undertaking for you guys.
Yes, we were very fortunate. Through a networking group, we met the former owner. He actually came as a visitor, and they said, "Hey, you guys should have a one-to-one, get to know each other." And Kevin has always wanted a studio location because before he was doing in-home personal training and MAT. So they put together this 4-year plan to buy him out and take over the space. And because we were mainly in Pinellas County at the time, we had to leave most of our clients to come over. It was a huge risk. But we were really fortunate to join a bunch of groups and meet great people like you, where it was so, people really welcomed us. So we were very fortunate, and we had this 4-year plan to completely buy out the former owner, and we were able to do it in less than 2 years.
Which is amazing.
Well, thank you. We couldn't do it without, our support and our amazing clients. They are a trip. And so in last May, we signed the papers, officially became owners. And because the former owner didn't do the muscle activation techniques, brilliant businessman, we learned a ton from him. But until the paper was signed and the money was exchanged, he didn't want us talking about MAT a whole lot, which makes sense because he didn't do it. So now we actually have that's our niche for sure. Mm-hmm. A lot of people might think, oh, this gym is your competition. But really, they're great referral relationships for us because we don't do what they do. They don't do what we do. Mm-hmm. So we're very happy to be at Fitness Tech. In fact, yesterday, we just knocked down a wall because we're expanding into the space next door and adding a couple offices and a little reception area. So,
congratulations to you there.
Thank you.
If you're just joining us, I am speaking with Kristen Rink-Vada of Fitness Tech. If you are looking to get in shape in a way that you've never have before and learn how to eat properly, give her a call. You can reach her at 813-406-0827, or you can visit their website. They've got a ton of information online, and it is at www.fitness-tech.com. That's fitness-tech.com. So you took ownership and you're expanding in your space. What makes your approach so different from any other gym in the neighborhood?
Well, as I soon found out, even as a client, one of the things that really matters to me is it might not make a whole lot of sense to people that I had a sister with an eating disorder and now I'm a personal trainer.
Mhm.
And or that I'm a volunteer for the National Eating Disorders Association. So if you know what our approach is about, it makes sense. We're really focusing on if there are plans and programs, with all the resources out there, the weight loss industry is something like a ridiculous amount of money and growing. With all of those resources, how come it's not actually impacting people's way of life? So we specialize in educating people. There's a difference between eating healthy, what I thought eating healthy was, and eating healthy for fat loss. And there's a difference between exercising and exercising for fat loss. There's just a lot more nerdy fitness science instead of it just being calories in, calories out. So we educate people on that, teach them what we know. So again, they don't need us anymore. And it happens to include a ton of food. It's a lot of really nutrient-dense food. So our clients, some do come in because they want to lose weight or inches, which we understand. But we have a lot of clients who also come in because they either want more energy or their doctor said, if things don't change, you're going on medication. Or they want to be able to pick up their grandkids and currently can't. So whatever that would provide for them being able to do that, that's what we focus on. Okay. We don't focus on just the inches. So I think that makes us different.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about eating for a few minutes.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard it said, put yourself on a 1,200 calorie diet, put yourself on a 900 calorie diet. Obviously that's probably not the right thing to do, especially if you're going to go and exert yourself. You'd be like, want to pass out halfway through because you got nothing left. So is there an appropriate amount of good food that's not 1,200 calories?
Yeah, we the most we talk about calories is actually during we do free educational seminars at the studio, where people are more than welcome to come. A lot of our clients actually bring their spouses or families. Mm-hmm. So that when they go home and eat a lot, they're like, really, she told me to, look, and so there are a lot of things that I know are effective for some people. And I don't mean to say that those don't work, but what we do focus on are the kind of results that people can sustain. So when it comes to food, I heard it on a great podcast that, food, we don't view it as the problem. It's a huge part of the solution. So again, regardless of what the ultimate goal is for people, we use food and make sure that if you're switching from a calorie-dense diet, which might include some fast food and sugars and things like that, to a more what we call a nutrient-dense diet, where almost everything you're eating is chock full of some kind of nutrients, right? Whether it's healthy carbs, proteins, fats, all of them are needed for your day and for your body. When you switch from that calorie dense to the nutrient dense food, if you don't eat a large quantity to make sure that calorically you're getting enough, that is probably the biggest, what I would call a mistake or a double whammy. When people come to us, literally people are very, very frustrated. They've tried this diet. It used to work. It doesn't anymore. Mm-hmm. Or it works for their neighbor and doesn't work for them.
Right.
So it's actually a ton of food, and we don't count calories. The most specific we get is the macronutrients, the protein, carb, fat ratio. So
Got it. Okay. Let's switch it out for just a little bit, and let's talk about MAT,
okay,
which is your muscle activation technique. What is that?
Great question. So very simply, it's a way that we can. It's like a system of checks and balances.
Okay.
We can see what muscles are firing, like communicating with the rest of the muscles, and which ones aren't. By getting the ones firing that aren't, we can set up a better way for you to deal with life. So the professional athletes come in primarily for MAT because they want to then go beat the heck out of their bodies on the field as best as possible. Great. We also have some people, like one woman, she's a teacher in her mid 60s. She broke her back a few years ago, opted to never have surgery. And she came in because she wanted to start losing weight, but obviously she needed to make sure she was taken care of. So she came in, and by getting muscles working for her, that gives her body the best way to deal with her life. She might not be running around like the professional athletes are, but she's on her feet all day with the kids. She and her boyfriend go dancing often. And those are the things that matter to her. If I can take another minute real quick,
Yeah.
she has the most inspiring story. She came and she actually was on a bike and unable to stop when she broke her back a couple years ago. And she's been coming in once, maybe twice a week, all the way over from Dunedin.
Mm-hmm.
She is so amazing and so positive. And just 2 weekends ago was the first time she was on a bike since her fall. And she came in so proud of herself. It was such a big, yay for us. Like that's, on one hand, that's really more rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
Professional athletes are awesome and we love them and please come see us. But the people where it's like, wow, like she can get back to her life again. Like that stuff just is amazing. So
Right. Okay, great. So, you talk about somebody who's a teacher and is busy in their day, and you talk about professional athletes. How about kids? How about, just regular folks?
Okay, great. Yeah, so we use MAT even if there are people who come in who are looking to lose weight.
Mm-hmm.
Let's say somebody is interested in fat loss. The way that we use MAT and also resist the RTS, which is resistance training specialist, which kind of goes hand in hand with MAT. Mm-hmm. We use that so that the more muscles you have firing, the more effective your workout.
Okay.
So the more you get out of it and the more muscle you gain, the higher your metabolism, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So that one of the things that big picture, we really want to impact is the whole hip replacement, knee replacement, back surgery, shoulder surgery is pretty normal. If you sit around a table with a bunch of, 70 and 80-year-olds, they all joke around about which parts are new.
Right.
And we believe it really doesn't have to be that way.
Mm-hmm.
So the more that we can get your body using those muscles, which we believe your body wants to use first, before muscles, quote unquote, shut off for one of three reasons. Either a physical reason, like it was pushed too hard and it kind of shuts off to protect itself. A chemical reason. Maybe there are certain foods, if you're gluten intolerant, maybe there are certain muscles that shut off because it doesn't like that. And then emotional reasons. I got a call. My sister was diagnosed with cancer. My back hurt the next day. It's all related. And she's now fine. She had surgery and is now cancer-free. Thank goodness.
That's awesome.
Thank you. But it's all related. So we look at it as a whole. I've had some clients who come in, their mother is, in hospice, and she's not sleeping and it's really hard for her to be eating enough. I don't then put her through a workout. We talk about how can we try to make it so that you do have to get sleep, or how can we set up your life so that you are eating, so that, because that will make the biggest difference right now, even if there is a goal to feel better, look better, whatever that is. So I think that we're really lucky that we have MAT to use as a tool for that, to just, have her be able to deal with life better.
Okay, I totally get that. When you're looking at your clients, is there a good recommendation on folks who want to lose weight, would you say?
I would say come to our free seminar. Shameless
Okay.
plug.
Shameless plug.
Yes.
When are those, Kristen?
When or what?
Yeah. When are those seminars?
So we put the dates up on our Facebook page,
Mhm.
which is, facebook.com/fitness tech, one word, which is FITNESSTEK.
Mhm.
And we have those every few weeks.
Mhm.
Sometimes people come in and say, hey, that time doesn't work for me. Could we do another time? I do speaking engagements a lot.
Mhm.
I've been very fortunate. I'm asked back for the 9th class at University of Tampa to talk about the science of fat loss and the science of exercise to biology classes. So we can get as nerdy or not as people want, and we cater it to the audience. So my biggest recommendation would be if you can take an hour out of your life to come learn, I promise it's not a sales pitch.
Mhm.
We create such a safe space at the studio. We really want people to not only feel proud of themselves for taking the actions, but we don't want them to not be able to focus on what we're talking about, wondering when's the pitch going to come.
Mhm.
So it's 100% not a sales pitch at all.
Mhm.
And we only answer questions about our services when people ask us afterwards.
Got it. Okay. Great.
So that would be my biggest recommendation, because people will hear whatever will make the biggest difference for them.
Mhm.
Everyone's different. Kevin, even the difference between Kevin and I, it's very
Mhm.
black and white. If he doesn't prepare for the whole week, pizza and ice cream's a good idea.
Mhm.
If I, maybe take some actions not in line with my commitment, I can get right back on, no problem.
Mhm.
And one isn't better than the other, but knowing it about yourself makes a huge difference.
I got that. Okay. Terrific. So, there's so many commercials on TV nowadays, so many promises, the pill that's going to make me lose 50 pounds. If I go and I buy this gym and I can put it under my bed, the hope is to take it out and not put my clothes on it to dry. What makes Fitness Tech sustainable, and what's going to make me show up there to hang out with you guys and get my exercise program in?
Well, a couple of things. So one is the science and the cutting edge techniques that we use makes the results more sustainable. So, like one story, we had a client come in. She said, okay, I'm going to come in for 3 months. She got awesome results. Really great. She was 37. And we do before and after pictures, and we actually use measurements to gauge the fat loss, because the number on the scale can be so deceiving. And again, muscle by volume weighs more than fat. So you could weigh as much as somebody else and look completely different. So we use pictures as an indicator, which are completely for the client. It's not for us. It's not to put up on our website, I promise. And she actually came in. She came in for her after picture. She looked awesome. She was so proud of herself. That night she went out and celebrated, and no joke, she completely shattered her ankle. Like there's now screws
Boots
and
screws.
it's
Ooh,
bleh.
ouch.
So she noticed, so she stopped exercising, which was needed given the situation.
Sure.
She kept up eating often enough for maybe a week or two, and then stopped doing that. And she said that there was a time, probably around 8 or 9 weeks, when her body still looked the same, still felt the same. Her muscle mass and everything that she was doing kept her metabolism up. And then there was a certain point where she started to notice some inches being added that weren't there before. And it's astonishing to go off of a plan and still have 9 weeks of looking the same. She was blown away. So when she was done her rehab, given what we do with MAT, she knew we were the place to come back to. She came back and she told me, Kristen, I'm actually really excited. I know it's a blast to come in here and work out with you. I don't even mind the cardio to do on my own. But I actually have anxiety thinking about how much food there is to eat to lose the fat. That's probably the biggest quote unquote complaint that we get from our clients is the amount of food that there is to eat for fat loss. And I forget your original question. I went off on a tangent.
No, you're so fine. We were just, what makes you different to sustain fitness tech versus the pills and the workout stuff that you can buy for your house.
Perfect. Sorry. So the results is one, and then the second part is how we go about it. The man who actually taught me what I know about muscle activation techniques, I'm what they call a jumpstart practitioner. We have someone else on the team who also is, as our team is growing. He was amazing. He just an amazing teacher and huge. I mean, bodybuilder, very, very big guy. Mm-hmm. And he would talk about how he never worked out his upper body with more than 25 pounds. Mm-hmm. Now, to see somebody that big and to know how to work out, if you know how to activate your muscles and how to use the forces appropriately, you don't need to use a whole lot of weight, mm-hmm. which means that the odds of you injuring yourself are much, much, much lower, mm-hmm. and you can still get great results. Mm-hmm. So on that side of it, people are able to sustain it because they're able to move longer. They're not taken out of the game as much as some other ways. So
okay. Oh, that's amazing. That's fabulous. We're going to come back and talk about that in just a minute. We are speaking with Kristen Rink-Vada here from Fitness Tech. If you have questions for her, you can give her office a call at 813-406-0827, or you can visit their website online at www.fitness-tech.com. My name is Terry Borg with Extreme Marketing Concepts, and we're going to take a quick commercial break from our sponsor, and we'll be right back. And welcome back. My name is Terry Borg with Extreme Marketing Concepts. I'm joined today with Kristen Rink-Vada from Fitness Tech. Businesses today have one of two problems. They either have an amazing reputation and nobody knows about it, or a terrible reputation and everybody knows about it. We can help you with both of those situations. Give us a call at 813-863-1452. So we are speaking with Kristen Rink-Vada with Fitness Tech. If you have questions for Kristen, you can reach her at 813-406-0827, or they have a great website. It's full of fantastic information. You can visit it at www.fitness-tech.com. So, Kristen, we're talking about, using lighter weights to give you a result that you don't have to kill yourself for. Mm-hmm. And, I've heard it said in other locations, mm-hmm. that, starve yourself and then work so hard that you're ripping yourself apart and then putting yourself back together. So can you explain why that ripping yourself and getting cut and doing all that to your muscles is bad?
Well, so one of the things that we want to make sure is that people are able to not only look great, but feel great. Mm-hmm. So we don't want to hurt you. We really want your body to be in better shape when you leave. Mm-hmm. So one of the things that that we believe is that it's way more involved than just calories in, calories out. Mm-hmm. Now, because we're only committed to sustainable results, there are other programs and plans where if you're doing some kind of quick fix, as long as you're you're clear and they're honest about the fact that this is going to be completely temporary and let you know the impact on your body, I would be cool with that. One of the issues that I think a lot of our clients need to almost forgive themselves for is that it's not their fault that they weren't able to either lose the weight or keep it off.
Okay.
And keeping your body in working condition is one of those things that we view as really needed, not optional, not like a good idea for later. But if there are certain actions that you can take now, that means you'll be able to look better longer, feel better longer, feel attractive longer, more confident and things like that. That's what matters to us. And we seem to have, those are the clients that come to us. So,
Okay, I got that. So you don't necessarily have to come to you if you want to get weight loss, but
Nope.
all those other items as well. So,
Yes,
okay, so
yes.
there's a wide variety that y'all need to come on out to Fitness Tech and check them out. Okay. So your services, what exactly do you provide when we come in?
So everybody starts out with a consultation. No charge to come in. And we're really committed that you get value from your consultation, whether you choose to work with us or not.
Got it.
So we've had people come in with their teenage daughters. We've had people come in with their spouses. And depending on what's going on with your body, what your goals are, what your budget is, we can always put together some options for people so that they can get to where you want to be. And I think another thing that makes us different is that there's nothing cookie cutter about our recommendations. There's nobody who says, I have the same exact budget as the person who just came in before me. That never, ever happens. So we have everything from, mostly phone and email accountability coaching, where I'm essentially the person coaching you through whatever you need to set up your life so that success is the only option. And then we have one-on-one personal training. We have a few class options as well. We are very lucky that we have a lot of very talented trainers on the team with us. So we have a lot of different options for people when they come in.
I got that. Okay, great. How about membership fees with your group?
We actually don't have membership fees. We call our place a studio, not a gym. So every time somebody comes in, it's at a specific time, and you're working with someone specifically, whether it is a small group or individually. It's all by appointment. And so there actually aren't any membership fees to come to Fitness Tech.
I get that. Okay. And I notice, when I've come in, your equipment is not the equipment that you see in like a regular gym at all. I mean, there's some things that are same, free weights and stuff like that, but the rest of the stuff is very different from what you would see in a normal gym.
Yeah, it's pretty fascinating. The way that we look at working out, building muscle, and exercising is we can take a look at an exercise and say, okay, so how can we actually have less stress on your body and still work that same muscle? Okay, how can you take it down another level and another level so that it's so isolated that you are doing it as safely as possible and still getting the results? So I think that if you were to come in and say, really, these people are working out, it kicks their butt, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't look like what you might think is traditional exercise.
Okay, great. And now results. How do you track those for your clients? And how do the people track it for themselves once they're finished with working, in the studio itself?
Most people, we recommend doing the measurements, different places on your body. We can tell you exactly how and where. And as long as you're consistent with how you do it, that's the best way to do it. We probably ask people to weigh themselves once a week or once every 2 weeks. If you're like me, I used to be compulsive about it. I was excited. I would, wake up, weigh myself, go to the bathroom. After I peed, I weighed like half a pound less. I was like, yes, So we try to get people away from the scale as much as possible. And even there are lots of fat scales where they measure your fat, and that even has a lot to do with how much water you drank and things like that. So we just want people to take it all with a grain of salt. So.
I got that. Okay, terrific. there's all these drinks that are out on the market today too. They actually kind of scare me. Not to talk bad about any company or any type of thing, but they're claiming that this drink, maybe it's a meal or a meal replacement, and you're getting your 1,200 calories. And then there's, to the opposite extreme of that is taking, all of your vegetables and putting them in a blender and drinking them all, because obviously you're much more full if you drink this big healthy thing. Is there a happy, way to mix food, maybe have a power drink of some sort and really nourish yourself properly?
So first of all, we, Kevin and I and the rest of the Fitness Tech team, we are in the same boat. Okay. So it's not like we have all of this figured out 100% and
right.
tell people what to do. What we've found is that there are, for sure, not all protein powders are created equal. Not all drinks are created equal. The things that most of our clients are concerned with is, number one, am I going to get the results? So we let people know the impact of things as opposed to it's good or bad.
Okay.
So, so the more actual food you can eat, the better.
Mm-hmm.
Now, depending on how far down the rabbit hole of food you want to go,
Mm-hmm.
There's a ton of information out there. So we just have a few rules of thumb that we recommend. The more actual food, the better. The more raw, the better. The more nutrients, the better. So, sometimes our clients go on, whether they've got like one of those multi-level steamers, they go on like steamer kicks.
Right.
When they prepare meals for the day or the week, they are, making chicken, fish, a bunch of vegetables all at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And they do that for a while.
Right.
Sometimes they go on juicing kicks,
Right.
where, again, we can educate them as much as we know about which vegetables, which fruits, if any, do we recommend. And then there's, depending on the juicer, how much stuff comes out impacts things. And then as far as protein powders go, just the things you want to find out are how long is it on the shelf before you get it.
Mm-hmm.
I know price is a consideration for people. There are some plant proteins that have like the complete amino acid profile, which, and again, in a perfect world, we're all eating enough vegetables and getting it that way.
Right.
But we just give people tips like that,
Sure.
and then either let them do their own research or
Got it.
whatever lights them up.
No, I get that. Okay, great. But, it's funny, there are items in our supermarket that we go and we think that are perfectly okay to use. I know that you shared with me once, like Pam, or a synthetic oil that you're going to spray in your pan to coat it instead of maybe butter might not be the best alternative. Why is that?
Well, there are a few things now that I don't think has changed since the last time I was in the supermarket, where, again, one of the main things we want people to get is that it's not your fault if you've tried things that didn't work, right? So there are a lot of people who come in, they're like, listen, I eat healthy. I read the nutrition facts. I know what I'm doing and I'm not getting results. What's up?
Right.
So one of the things is that it can be very difficult, even if you are doing all of that.
Mm-hmm.
So like the Pam cooking spray, if anyone has already come to the seminar, they've heard it. And there are a lot of other personal trainers, thankfully, talking about this now. On Pam, it says on the front for fat-free cooking. And on the back, it's no calories, no fat, no protein, no carbs, nothing in it. And the ingredients, when you read an ingredient list, the first ones listed are the most proportionally. So depending on the kind of Pam, it either is canola oil or olive oil, usually some word I can't pronounce, and then some kind of propellant to make it come out. Now, if you look at a canola oil bottle, it's 120 calories total and 120 calories from fat.
Mm-hmm.
Quick math, it's 100% fat.
Mm-hmm.
So how is something fat-free if the main ingredient is made up of 100% fat?
Mm-hmm.
So there's a loophole, an FDA loophole, where if the serving size is less than half of a gram of fat, you can round down to 0 and advertise as such. So it can go for trans fats, total fats, that saturated fat. So you might even think, wow, I'm eating a healthier cookie. It says no trans fats or trans fat free on the front. You look on the back, and the serving size is maybe only half of a cookie, so that they get down below half of a gram and then advertise as such. So, Pam, if Kevin were here, he would tell you I need all the help, admittedly, in the kitchen that I can get. So it's not like I just use a little bit of Pam. I use a lot of it. And the way that they make the serving size low enough, if it's almost 100% fat, is it actually, depending on the kind, is either 1/3 of a second of a spray is the serving size, or 1/5 of a second. And I've actually even seen 1/8 of a second of a spray is the serving size to get it less than half of a gram so that they can say that it's 0. Now, cooking with fat isn't a problem. In fact, we encourage it. A lot of people plateau and need to increase healthy fats. There are just better options than the canola oil or the, things with the additives in it. You might as well use an olive oil or a walnut avocado oil, or an organic butter. Cook with that. Get the benefits and the nutrients, and know that you're eating it, as opposed to getting hundreds of calories of fat, not knowing it, and then being frustrated that you're not getting the results you want. So there are lots of things like that. And actually, that's another service I didn't mention that we provide. We do a nutrient-dense cooking presentation. That's something that our best ideas come from our clients. They really do ask for things that are brilliant. We just had a nutrient-dense cooking presentation about condiments.
Okay.
So we found out how to. It wasn't led by me, clearly. One of our trainers, she's great, Corinne. We learned how to make mayonnaise from scratch.
Okay, so mayonnaise isn't, if I go to the store and I buy it off the shelf, it might not be the best alternative for me, even though it's telling me that it's heart healthy.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Or whatever it says on the label.
I know.
Okay.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we teach people. It's like you
Okay.
can even go into the health stores, and if, depending on what your goal is, it's chock full of things that look healthy. They're in super healthy looking containers, and we wouldn't recommend it for you.
Got it. Okay. So
yeah.
mayonnaise. So mayonnaise is not really the best choice. So what's a healthy alternative for mayonnaise?
Well, she actually made mayonnaise. With eggs and avocado oil and walnut oil, she said were the best options, and she showed us how to make it in the food processor. She added some, I think, lemon and mustard. She has these amazing recipes that when people come, not only do we watch her make it, but then you get the recipes afterwards, which is really cool. And
awesome.
a lot of families are doing it with their little kids. It's really great to see so much interest.
Well, your family does deserve fresh mayonnaise. I think that they really do. So
Me too.
Yeah. Is there any other surprises? What about ketchup? Is ketchup good for you?
Yeah. So there are certain ketchups where even if it says on the front, no high fructose corn syrup in the ketchup, if you read the ingredients, it's very clearly there's a sugar in there.
That's not good because, for my daughter, I think if she was to buy stock, she'd make money because she loves to like everything with ketchup.
Yeah.
So that could be really bad.
So it was really cool. She made ketchup from scratch. And then from the ketchup, she also, and people might know this, it might be obvious, but you can also make tartar sauce and all these other things with the different bases and a lot of different salad dressings from the mayonnaise, which I grew up, even when I grew up, fat-free was the fad at the time, which we don't recommend. But to think that what you're dipping in is actually the healthy part is that's a complete context shift, even for me.
Yeah.
So it's cool to be able to teach people how to do that.
Awesome. Wow. So really Fitness Tech provides a complete experience for people to get in shape, to eat properly, and then how to sustain that when they're at home.
Yeah.
Awesome. Is there anything else maybe that we haven't spoken about Fitness Tech that you want to share with us today?
Well, that just reminded me. So one of the things, again, it was an idea a client had. Sometimes we have entire families come in where they just come in for, we call it like food counseling, and we just figure out everybody in the family has a different reason for wanting to eat healthy, or maybe they don't. until they talk to me. But we talk about it, and we talk about what it provides, so that instead of in the moment choosing between the, I don't have a sweet tooth, I have a sweet mouth, right? So I teach people, like, in the moment, when I do the speaking engagements a lot, I have to tell on myself. I'm deep down more important than looking good. I actually have this fear that I've done so many quick fixes and so many fad diets that, at some point when Kevin, who's also my husband, I don't know if we said that yet or not, but
You did, but that's okay.
he still is my husband. That if we go to have kids, I'm worried that I won't be able to. And that is like deep down the straight of it for me. So we help people realize whatever that deep down thing is for them. Not that they have to go and shout it from the rooftops, but you'll start to notice if there are some really close people in your life, and if you tell them why you're doing what you're doing, I don't know if you've ever noticed, but anytime I used to go on a diet or a food plan in the past, everybody comes out of the woodwork. Everyone's eating pizza that day. You have to eat pizza. You have to eat the cupcake. We're going out to happy hour and you're coming with us. So the more people that you tell that really underneath why you want to do it, the easier it is. It kind of greases the slide for the results to happen. And what's cool is when we have a whole family come in, they can literally say, okay, this pantry is for all of the, we call it extravaganza meals, when, because we're not all about restricting constantly. We are about teaching you how to eat and knowing when, okay, this is Saturday night is our extravaganza night, and we're really going to have what we want, however much we want. So they have a pantry. It's their extravaganza pantry. And it's so much easier when the rest of your house is on board with whatever it is that you want. So that's a lot of the kind of coaching that we do when we talk to people. Again, we just want to help them set up their life so that success is the only option.
I got that.
Yep.
Okay, fabulous. Terrific. We have been speaking with Kristen Rinkvada of Fitness Tech today. Lots of amazing information shared. And I recommend you head on down there and check out what they have to offer. Sit in on one of their sessions, learn more about how you can help yourself get in shape or eat better, or even learn how to work out the proper way. If you have questions for Kristen or any of the folks over at Fitness Tech, you can give them a call at 813-406-0827. Let me just ask you really quick, what kind of clients are you looking for?
So really we are, a great referral for us would be people who are really tired of feeling like they can't have what they want. We really help people get what they've always wanted. So, our greatest clients currently are, we have somebody who not only sent his son and his best friends, but he owns a company downtown. He asked us to do a corporate wellness program for him, and we built the gym and everything so that they get what they want, so that they're more productive and happy employees. So that would be great for us to have more of them.
Okay, perfect. And moms and kids and families?
Oh, totally. I love working with teenage girls. Those are my favorite, especially given my commitment that eating disorders are no longer. I really think that there's a lot of misinformation out there, and the teenage girls I've worked with have been the most inspiring. They've started blogs on their own about healthy eating and
oh, awesome.
Yeah, really great.
Yeah, because there's, teenage girls have their own agenda, and they just try so hard to look so awesome all the time. So knowing how to eat right as a teenager is so critical, especially because then they're going to go and be the moms.
Yes,
so they need to know how to feed their children. So great. So check out Fitness Tech's website at www.fitness-tech.com, and that's TEK, by the way. And again, their phone number 813-406-0827. Kristen, thank you so much for sharing with us today. It was so wonderful to have you.
Thank you so much for inviting me.
Yeah, great tips, great stuff shared. I learned a ton. I know our audience learned a lot too, and give them a call. You have been listening to Go Mind Your Business here on All Your Business Radio down here at the Talkwad studio. Our show today was sponsored by Extreme Marketing Concepts, putting your business in front of the hungry herd of buyers who are looking for you right now. If you have any questions for Extreme Marketing Concepts, you can give them a call at 813-863-1452. Thanks so much for joining us today. It was my pleasure to have you. I will see you next time. And until then, I remind you to go mind your business. Have a great day.
Thank you for listening to Go Mind Your Business with Terry Bork, presented by Extreme Marketing Concepts. If you want to drive more traffic, dominate the market, and crush your competition, find out how by visiting our website, www.extrememarketingconcepts.com. And join Terry next time for another episode of Go Mind Your Business.